Dwaipayan Ghosh, TNN, updated, January 31, 2019, 6:04 ISTAir Force officers on the court premises on Wednesday. Kolkata, a city court on Wednesday found Taufiq Sohrab, better known as Sambia, and son of businessman politician Md Sohrab, not guilty of the murder of Air Force Corporal Abhimanyu Gaud, whom he had run over in his Audi Q7 during an early morning rehearsal for the Republic Day parade 3 years ago. Additional District and Sessions Judge Moumita Bhattacharya found Sambia guilty of causing death by negligence, a much less serious charge, punishable by a maximum of 2 years in prison. Sambia was served the maximum sentence, but since he has already spent 3 years in prison, having been arrested on January 16, 2016, he was released after paying a fine of 1 lakh rupees as compensation to Gaud's family. Late on Wednesday, he drove himself home in another fancy set of wheels, a white Porsche SUV. Gaud, 21, was part of an Air Force contingent that had been participating in the Our Day parade rehearsals on January 13, 2016, when Sambia drove into him after breaching guardrails that had been put up to prevent the entry of vehicles. The incident happened right in front of Fort William, the Army's Eastern Command headquarters. After 3 days on the run, Sambia was picked up on January 16. On Wednesday, the judge criticized the prosecution for not being able to provide evidence to prove the charges and found their case an exaggerated version of that day's events. She also slammed the police for failing to prove intent, which is crucial to establish a murder charge. The court also found Sambia not guilty of an attempt to murder charge for injuring Captain Umesh Sharma. Md Sohrab and 2 others, Shahnawaz Khan alias Shanu and Muhammad Noor Alam alias Johnny, who are accused of harboring Sambia, were also acquitted. The judge ruled that there was no evidence to substantiate charges under Sections 302, murder, 307, attempt to murder, and 304, knowledge that is likely to cause death but without any intention to cause death or such bodily injury as is likely to cause death. Sambia was also found guilty of causing damage to government property, which also is punishable by a maximum of 2 years in jail. Apart from the compensation to the Gaud family, he will have to pay 10,000 rupees to secure his release from prison. The state is likely to move High Court against Wednesday's order after studying the 93-page verdict. The judge observed that the 12-member investigating team of Kolkata police had been driven by emotion. She noted that while death was always to be lamented, the prosecution stressed on analysis of the knowledge of the accused, but failed to provide any evidence to prove his intent, a necessity while establishing a murder. The judge was also critical of the doctor who conducted Gaud's post-mortem, observing that the medical practitioner appeared more intent to establish the murder charge than report the actual findings. The judge has asked for a copy of the order to be served to the Kolkata Police Commissioner and copies served to the Medical Council of India (MCI) and State Medical Council. It is very rare for a copy of a court order to be sent to MCI. Defense lawyer Faisal Rahman admitted that mistakes on the part of the prosecution had helped his client's cause. The first post-mortem report had not made any conclusions. Instead, it tried to highlight injuries. The second report made certain observations that made us question its intent. It mentioned that Gaud had raised his hand to stop the car and that Sambia tried to flee. We also highlighted how the investigating officer could not fix the exact point of contact and even edited out crucial CCTV footage. Finally, we managed to highlight certain gross mistakes on the part of police. The guardrail allegedly smashed by Sambia in 2016 was officially seized by police 2 years later, in 2018, Rahman said. Gaud's family said they were disappointed with the verdict. "We will not give up. We will continue our fight for justice. It is important to us that the killers of our brother are penalized," said Dwaipayan Gaud, Abhimanyu's brother. The Army's Eastern Command, which had been very active after the corporal's death, did not comment on Wednesday's verdict. A source said the order was being studied. Sambia's father expressed satisfaction. "I have always believed in the rule of law. My son had to go through a lot in the past 3 years. He even lost his mother. Every lawyer that I contacted kept repeating that my son cannot be convicted for murder. I am happy the rule of law has prevailed, said Md Sohrab, a former MLA who fought as an RJD candidate supported by the left before switching to Trinamool Congress in 2013. Sohrab, the biggest fruit merchant in the state with stakes in the real estate and hospitality sectors, enjoys cordial relations with politicians of all hues. Download the Times of India News app for latest city news. BJP to complain we see over Kanti violence, 11 arrested, 4 acquit Sambia Sohrab of killing Air Force Corporal Bengal orders to eliminate suspected man-eating leopard.